The Seahawks made another under-the-radar great move today, trading longtime steady Eddie cornerback Michael Jackson to the Carolina Panthers in exchange for 7th-round rookie inside linebacker Michael Barrett, a Michael for Michael trade. And this is a very smart trade because you're taking from one position where you have a little bit of a glut as far as the positional depth goes and looking to add it to another positional group where things are just a little bit thin right now as it's been standing coming into camp and where we currently stand at the moment with the linebacker position. Because both of your two inside linebackers you signed this offseason, Dodson, Baker, they've both been a little bit nicked up. And when you got the other guys coming in here with Radigan and Tyrese Knight, they have been pretty steady, though Radigan himself has been dealing with some heel injury, I think, as well, in addition to that. So you needed some reinforcements there. Whereas on the other side of it at the cornerback room, Michael Jackson wasn't likely to be making this roster. You really wanted to probably end up keeping both of the two Auburn kids that you took. And if you were going to keep Michael, then it meant probably one of those two were going to get released. And so with Jackson being on the final year of his contract, due to be a free agent after this year, not having any kind of long-term future here in Seattle because he is really mainly a zone cover corner. He's a good tackler for the position and a good zone corner for the position, but he's not as much built to do that man stuff. And when you look through the Seahawks cornerback room right now, it's a lot more of those guys that can run both zone and man within this system. Part of the diversity of this system, part of the unpredictability of this system is that you got to be able to do both as a cornerback, and Mike's more of just kind of that zone kind of cat. So he goes over to Carolina. Seahawks bring on Michael Barrett, who, though he was a 7th-round inside linebacker, this is a kid with a little bit of talent. He played really well out there at Michigan. There's going to be some connections with both Macdonald back there to Michigan and also Jay Harbaugh. They know this guy. They understand this guy. And he's a really great fit for this defense because he's a downhill inside linebacker. I think he's more of a Will than he is a Mike because you don't really want him taking on those second-level blocks as often as possible. And he's a very good blitzer, and you just want him running around there being really fast and furious, and he can lay some hits out there. He's a pretty good tackler, and he's an excellent, excellent blitzer. So fits into this scheme and what it's going to ask him to do really well, reinforces that depth. And the reason that you did see him drop in this draft is that there was a lot of inside linebackers from about that 4th to 7th round range where just some of those guys were going to get pushed down a little bit. We took our Tyrese Knight in the 4th round in the same spot a little bit. He ended up having to dip down a little bit. I think it's because he didn't necessarily have the greatest of size. He's right around average at 6 foot, about 235, 240 in this day and age. But he ran a 4.7 40. 1.64 10-yard split. That's not the best of times for an inside linebacker. And so with the size, not limitations, but averageness to go with a little bit of the lack of below average traits from the athleticism speed quotient of it, caused him to dip a little bit. But he's football fast. He kind of moves around with sort of that Jamal Adams sort of swag a little bit to him. He's got the 2 double armbands on it, and he definitely tries to get downhill really quickly. Just don't have him thinking a whole lot. Let him be just getting after it and go, and he can be very fast to a spot and potentially a decent player for you down the road. But this was really, at the end of the day, you looking and moving off from a guy that was not going to have a long-term future here to bring on somebody now who might have a long-term future, who the team has now club control for a couple of years if he can round into being a decent player, and at the very least should be an awesome special teams guy for your Seahawks. It is worth noting, make of this what you will, he was the 2nd highest rated defender for the Carolina Panthers this preseason. And somebody might go, why'd they move him then? I'm going to guess probably because they had a need for cornerback and a heavy need at that one. We'll see how it plays out, but a great move by John Schneider under the radar. It's not going to get him any General Manager of the Year awards anytime soon, but it's these type of solid moves that he's building on top of the work they've already put in, on top of signing a guy like Connor Williams a couple of weeks ago at a really great price that can help to build this team up better and better and better, not just now, but in the long term. My name is Brandon Kane. This is the Hawks Nest. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe. But beyond all that, don't you ever forget, go Hawks.